All right, let's check this out. What do we have here? We have the Rotring 600 mechanical pencil. I just got this pen in a few days ago after doing quite a lot of research, and this one just seemed to fit or check almost all the boxes. It can't, from what I can tell, you can't have a retractable tip without some wobble, and so I just didn't think I could handle a wobble when I was writing, no matter how slight it is. So I decided to go with the Rotring 600. You know, it's funny, one of the first things that I noticed when I opened it, and something I didn't really think about before, is its similarity to the experience of the first time I purchased a really nice watch, automatic mechanical watch. The first time I did a lot of research. I was looking at all these different options. I finally settled on this specific piece, and when I got it, I couldn't believe how much better it looked in person. I just couldn't believe it. Like I couldn't believe it. It just looked so, like, you see it in photos, and it's like, it's not, it's too big, you know. It's kind of like, it's, first of all, it's 2D, you know, so it's flat, and you don't get a real perspective of what it actually looks like, you know, to scale. And when I remember when I opened the box of that automatic mechanical watch, I was just blown away by like how tight, like how like small and just precise everything was. And when I opened up this pencil and held it for the first, or not even held it, just looked at it for the first time in person, I had that same feeling. It is so, akin to like a really nice mechanical watch. It's so funny. It's like everything is so small and so precise. You know, even the knurling, like when you see it online in photos, it looks quite sort of enlarged in a way. When you get it in person, it's like you can't even really see the knurling. You know, you can't differentiate. You can tell that it is knurling, but you can't differentiate the individual knurls. You know, and it just feels like you're holding this super engineered piece of, technical tool, you know, that they would be using in a in a lab or something. It's just so very nice feeling. It's just such a nice feeling. It really feels like you're sort of holding the case of a great analog mechanical watch, where you're just holding it in your hand and it's nicely weighted, and it just feels so premium and well made. That's exactly what this feels like. You know, of course, the cap comes off. It's got the see-through hole, so it's not a choking hazard. You know, for what, yeah, I get it. I mean, people have kids, and you know, the eraser. I don't ever really plan on using the eraser, to be honest. Whenever I'm writing, I tend to just mark out, like just cross it out, whatever I, you know, don't want to be there, you know. It just is such a beautiful pencil, and the click, Let's see if you can hear it. It's very tight, very precise. It was funny because about 2 weeks ago, the only mechanical pencil I had used in the last 10 years was a very cheap Chinese knockoff of a Pentel. I forgot the name of the Pentel, but it's like one of the like iconic Pentel, very inexpensive plastic body. And I'd gotten one at a Chinese shop, and through some series of events, I just got in the market for a mechanical pencil, like a nice one. And I'm here in Portugal, and I was looking at some shops, and no one had one of these. They had other brands. I can't remember the names of them, but they didn't have this one. I found one shop that had the Rotring Tiki, but yeah, and I ended up buying it. It was €4.50, and I bought it, and it was such a huge upgrade. And I ended up not breaking it. I ended up not breaking a lead. I was breaking leads all the time with the cheap Chinese knockoff. I mean, first of all, the little ring at the bottom here, it was like coming unscrewed while I was writing. So yeah, go figure. And then the Tiki was excellent. I really rarely broke the lead on the Tiki. And I've been writing with this one for 4 days, and I have not broken a lead yet. So I don't know. I am using, let's see. Yeah, let's get some little EDC stuff up here. I like to make bags. I hand sew bags, and which in fact, you know, I'm actually very, very close to starting sewing on a new bag made out of VX21 and VX50 tactical. This is the VX50 tactical. It's got 500D Cordura and yeah, the X-Pack, you know, design, and it's going to be a ridiculous bag, but I don't think I'm going to film that. It's just too much. So this is the lead I'm using, 0.5 2B Einstein. I got it on Amazon for like, I don't know, €4.50, €5, and it comes with 60 pieces. And I think the pencil came with HB lead. It's got the hardness indicator right there, and it came with HB. I think it just said H actually, and it was nice. Like, but I was kind of keen. I'd read a lot about the 2B and specifically the Einstein, but I had never actually used 2B. All the pencils here in Portugal come with HB, and you can't even find the 2B. I looked in every shop, I couldn't find it. And yeah, this 2B is amazing. It's really great. I've been writing quite a lot, and working on a new tattoo, blah blah blah. I like to write a lot about just philosophical stuff and just random things. But like I said, I'm designing this bag, and this has been a lot of I've done lately. But this was all written with that old cheap Chinese pencil, which, you know, it works. It does. You know, there's really, what can I say? It's like, is this worth? Yeah, I mean, come on. I ended up paying €30 for this one. I think it was even a little bit cheaper. I think it was like €27, and it's the camouflage green version. Yeah, it's 100% worth it. There's no question about it. You are not as important as you think you are. Yeah, there's no question about that. That's been a mantra over the last, I don't know, maybe 4 months. It kind of bubbled up, this idea, that it's like that the sort of the goal is a calmness, a calmness and a sort of a peacefulness and, a wise interaction with your environment and the world and people. And so how does that start, where, you're not sort of always hyper focused on yourself. This is happening to me. This is happening to me. Why is this happening to me? Anyway, you're not as important as you think you are is like, yeah, get over yourself and carry on, right? And in that, it's like, okay, now where are we? We're like in presence, calm, focused, and then we can sort of make choices. Instead of being reactive, we can be proactive. And, we can, if something comes up, we can be proactive, like finding a pencil and something really good, and you look for it and you search and you sort of search for what you're looking for, as opposed to willy-nilly just letting things spontaneously hit you, but it has to be more like really focused on people. I mean, yourself and people. And anyway, so the pencil is amazing. I love this graph paper. I did get this graph paper at a Chinese shop as well. But I don't know, you're not going to be able to see. But I'm not really going to write too much. There's not really any way you can write. But it's just got really smooth, it just feels amazing. I mean, bottom line. So, what else can I say? The clip is very strong clip, like to the point where it's sort of a little too strong feeling, where you're trying to put it over, like that. It's like, it doesn't want to go easily. You have to kind of shimmy it, but, like that. This is how I've been carrying it, and I ended up getting I just found a pen tip, a pen cap, and I've been carrying it like that. I mean, it's just pretty simple. It's pretty funny that you that you kind of need to do this, but it's also funny about the mechanical watches, which is something I didn't realize, and really a dirty little secret of the mechanical watch world is that they are delicate, man. They are so delicate. The mechanical watches, they say, oh, it's so robust and it's a workhorse. It's like you're gonna be, if you actually, in fact, the one I don't use them anymore because it's just ridiculous. But the one that I ended up buying, I tried to use it in my everyday life, and it was meant to be like a robust and a patina. It was bronze and big and like just well made from a tactical company. It's actually made from Loomtech, and really just a badass watch, but with all those moving parts inside, it can't handle my lifestyle at all. And kind of the sad part about that is before I bought it, I was really asking the company, can this keep up with my lifestyle? I was like, I live in India half of the year, and I'll randomly, go swimming in the ocean, and might go for a run, and I want to be able to have this watch. I want this watch to grow with me and patina and be a tool that I can rely on and use. And they were just like, yeah. And it's just like, man, that watch couldn't handle it. it really couldn't handle anything other than just babying it. So, you know, I sold it. I sold it I think I sold it within less than 6 months. It might have been like 3 months. I sold it, and yeah, it was a great moment. I ended up buying another watch, a Citizen Eco Drive, that was only for the Japanese market, and I don't have it with me. Actually, my wife is wearing it right now. She loves it. I started wearing a Samsung Galaxy Classic 4 watch, which, you know, I'm such a nerd. I love it, and it's customizable. I've got the time zones that I use. You know, I can double click the power key and it goes straight to recording a voice message, and then it syncs to my phone, and it'll transcribe it for me and put a summary. So I love being out. Like I'll go for a run and I'll double press, I'll have an idea and I'll record a voice memo, and then when I get back it'll sync to my phone, and then I can just hit transcribe and make a summary. And so I can like see my notes, and then I can write them in my journal. I can, you know, it's so much easier like that. I can just look at my phone, see my summary. So I've been kind of off watches, like analog. The Citizen is really badass. It's radio controlled, solar powered, has the date. It's titanium. It's super lightweight. Put on a strap. You know, it looks amazing. It's so lightweight. It doesn't bother you ever. It's super legible. Sapphire crystal. I mean, it's just like, this thing will last 25, 30 years and you'll never have to touch it, you know, and it can handle anything. I've been on runs and bike packing and swimming and just anything I could throw at it. It's always super accurate. And of course, it's a quartz. So that's it. You know, I'm just testing this out, seeing about starting to talk about sort of little things that I like. I watch so much YouTube, and one thing I've noticed is that I don't know if, I mean, granted, you know, I don't know. Somehow it's lacking some alternative personality. I don't know. But this morning I was seeing, I was actually looking at, what was I looking up? Oh, this pin that I'm looking for my wife, this Bastion titanium bolt action pin. And I've watched like so many videos about it, and they're pretty much always men. And this one came up of this woman, this quite young woman actually, it seemed like, and she was reviewing the pin, the titanium pin, and the Bastion had sent it out to her, and she had like 768 subscribers, and her angle of doing the video was really not good. Everything about it was just not good, really. It was just like, this is what I'm doing right here is so in the moment and bad probably, but hers was like way worse. And I was just thinking, they sent her a pin to review. Here I am looking to buy one. I mean, you know, it's like, it's not exactly about getting free things, but I love this stuff. I've always loved this stuff. And I feel like I do have there's a little bit of a unique way that I tend to use things. Like, for example, this watch. When I've seen anybody review this watch, they always have one of the basic built-in watch faces. You know, I'm using an app called Watchmaker, and I create my own watch face, and it's just so much better. There's a lot of little things like that can be done, little tips and tricks, little nuances of how to use something. But, you know, one of the things that sucks is trying to actually make it, you know, the videos. This is a bag I made recently. This is actually the first bag I made with this VX21 fabric. So one side is the VX21 and one side is the the X-Pac 50, what is it called? X-Pac 50 Tactical or something. And I just love this fabric. It's lightweight. It's super, super strong. And it's easy to work with. It's easy to sew. I hand sew, so look at this. I use a awl. So that's that. I'm about to sew a lot. I'm about to be sewing my face off. And I've done this over the last, I started about 4 years ago. And I love it. You know, it's so meditative. And me and my wife, we manage a yoga retreat center in Goa, India. And so I've got spare time, you know, and we have an off season of 4 months, and you know, I love little hobbies, and this is one of them. But this bag, you know, one thing about hand sewing that you can do is it's slow, and you can really get it exactly the way that you want. My wife right now is using 2 bags that I made for myself, and she's just taking them over because I always tend to sort of upgrade. Like here's a, let's see here. Here's a wallet that I made. This is out of Cordura, and some ballistic nylon. But it's just got all kinds of little pockets, like SSD drive, you know, place for cash. You know, I've got another little wallet I made out of this very lightweight ripstop. I love this thing. It's so easy to use. Keep my change in the middle, cash and cards on the outside. It's just lightweight and very, very user friendly. This wallet is really, really badass, but it's just, I've gotten it in, since I've made this wallet, I got into lightweight fabrics so much. And once you go lightweight fabrics, it's really, I don't know, like why would I use the heavy 1000D Cordura or 1680D ballistic nylon when I can use something that's waterproof, stronger, and stiffer, and lighter, way lighter, and I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, you know. It doesn't retain water. So I've gone all in on lightweight fabrics. This bag is one I made from down in Goa. I end up getting people who, they have surfing kites, and they have old ones, and I repurpose them. Let's just say this. I am soon getting a sewing machine. I'll start doing a combination of, hand sewing and machine. I mean, you can imagine the bag's dimension on one long side is going to be 42 centimeters. So you can imagine hand sewing this, and I'm going to be doing a zigzag stitch. So yeah, it takes a long time. You know, a 42-inch seam will take me 4 hours. So yeah, it's a double thing. I mean, you know, it's like any of these little hobbies, like a pen, you know, is it worth it to spend 30 to 80 euros on a pencil? I mean, it depends on how you look at it. I think, yes, I think it is justifiable. It is rational. Like, if you are using the tool, if you in a hobby, you know, if I get a sewing machine, I will be able to get done with things quicker. Okay. Therefore, let's say I could make a bag probably in 2 days, maybe even 1 day I could make a bag. Now, all of that anticipation and sort of time of thinking and like even changing the mind because it's slower, you know, in the process, taking a break during the sewing of the seams, all these sort of things, like, they kind of go out the door. So you get done with the bag in 2 days, and it's like, okay, whereas this bag will take me easily 2 weeks. The bag that my wife is using now, it took me more than a month. It took me about 40 days, and I made that one during the pandemic, and I really, really took my time on that one, like super, super took my time, and I made it insanely over-engineered. Not over-engineered, but like just over strong. I like doubled and tripled all the panels, and I was doing double, triple, quadruple stitches, and like just reinforcing everything. It's just, and I use 1680D ballistic nylon and 1000D Cordura, and like a 210. It might even be like a 420 denier ripstop nylon for the lining. I mean, it's just super overkill, really. I mean, once I've gone low, like super lightweight, I really have no interest in carrying that bag. But she loves it. It's all black. The way that it's designed, the way I design all my bags is kind of like, Rotring, that you can tell that they put such attention to the choices that they've made, and that's, I don't know. I mean, I love that about companies. Coda Bell, this hat, I just got this hat recently. Maybe I'll do a little review on it as well. But this hat, I found it the other day, ended up having to ship it from Hong Kong because they had ran out of it on their shop. But this hat it's so badass. I mean, it's just like such a different, like, unique design choice, and like the fabrics, it's using the Eco Pack and the buckle and the way they did the panels and just everything about it. Pretty much, I love it. So, anyway, that's the Rotring 600. I hope you enjoyed this. Whoever in the world might watch it. And yeah, maybe you have to pick yourself up one. I let my wife, she tested it out. For her, she doesn't like the hexagonal body. She likes the knurling. She doesn't like how heavy it is, which I really like that. So I'm actually looking for her and she kind of prefers pins, but she's now using that Rotring Tiki, and I saw her this morning. I saw her riding it in her, and I think she quite likes it. I think I might have converted her from a pin user to a mechanical pencil. So I'm kind of in the market maybe for her a titanium, something in titanium where it's super lightweight. And she also doesn't like the way this kind of like immediately, she doesn't like the drafting pencil style, which I don't know. She's going to keep using that Tiki. Maybe it grows on her. Let's see. Anyway, that is the Rotring 600. I love it. It's beautiful. It's such a real pleasure, a real joy to just have. Like, it feels like a something like a knife, like where it's just like, God, it feels really good to just have it. But this is not a great knife. This was, I think it was 30 euros. I mean, this is not very, I wouldn't say these are similar, really, to be honest. You would have to go way higher price on a knife to get the similar feel as this. For instance, that mechanical watch that I bought, I think it was like 1,000 euros, which is, I would say there is kind of a sweet spot for mechanical watches, because there's not a lot more you can actually do that is practical when it comes to mechanical watches. And perhaps pencils are the same. I mean, what else could you do that's not just superficial, all right? So I think that's why this pencil is on all the list, is because it's the sweet spot. They kind of nailed it. and I guess that's why it's been around for so long. Anyway, God, you know, I just want to always have it in my pocket. But having this cap, I will say that it is a little ridiculous. I wish they should make something specifically for it to cover it, you know? Or maybe they're just like, man, will you stop being such a baby and just use it and not worry about it? But I don't know, man. Maybe that'll get like that at some point, but at the moment, you know, I'm kind of babying it. That's what I do. All right, I guess that's it. That's the wrap. The Rotring 600.